you recently passed your ITC. I mean, your first attempt. So well done on that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, you must be chuffed about that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, and so are you busy preparing for APC, or you first have to APT, or?
Yeah, I am currently still a lecturer at the TVET College in the Western Cape. So I'm planning to go into my articles mid this year. So I think by June, I will start with my articles. So currently, I didn't do any articles yet. So I must still do the 3 years and then the APC.
Wow, yes, it's such a long process. If you think about, yeah, you started in 2016. At the
almost
end,
10 years now.
Yes, that's amazing. Yeah, so there's I've got a hidden agenda at the end as well, because I've got two things that I want. The first one is just to hear about your experience with Tabaldi. So that's one thing. But then at the end, I want to ask you a bit about how you study, because so many of our students, they enroll for the course, but they don't put in the work. So we'll get to that, because you are, I think, one of our best examples. So
thank you.
Yeah, it's very inspiring. So the first thing is, so you started in 2016 already. So where did you hear of Tabaldi? I mean, we didn't even have all the courses back then.
Yes, I actually grow with the courses in my time of doing my BCom through UNISA. So when I started studying my BCom accounting through UNISA, I actually read through a lot of online courses, was trying to find something that will support me throughout my journey. And then I saw a demo of the Tabaldi videos. I think that started with FEC 160.5 or something, 106. And I was actually hooked by the way they explained the accounting principles and how they simplified the stuff. So I decided I'm going to enroll myself and use that and work as hard as possible and be consistent in my approach, because I saw that from the demo, if you put in the hard work, there's a possibility, not even a possibility, but it's almost guaranteed that you will pass. So that is basically what I did since 2016. I almost bought, I think I bought all the courses that was available in terms of supporting my major subjects. And for each and every subject, I got a distinction. So yeah, I am super proud for actually enrolling with Tabaldi, because it's due to them that I was.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. So it's actually, when I looked before, I wanted to prepare a bit, and I went back and I searched my email to see what was the first message that we interacted on, and that was in management accounting, I think 2601. And I saw that was early in the year, and by that time you've already gone through, I think, the first 13 learning units. And it's so difficult to get students to work through this stuff. But were you working back then as well, or were you studying full time?
I was working back then. So when I started, I was married with one kid, and I'm currently having 3 of them, and I studied throughout, and I was also living my life. So basically when I did that, it was kind of at a time where I was trying to change careers, but I said to myself, I first want a degree, and then I will change into the accountancy or the business world. So basically, when I started, I had prepared myself mentally for the journey. I actually read a lot of Yvonne's blog and what the journey entails and how difficult it can become, but how resilient you need to be in order for you to be successful. So then I started creating systems. How am I going to tackle this? Because I'm a wife, I have a kid, I'm working full time, I need to manage all those responsibilities. So basically what I did from first year, I woke up at 2 a.m. every morning, or 90% of the time. And then I would study, I would go through Tabaldi's videos, the activities, I would do everything that is in the course, and I would do that on a consistent basis. So by the time I received the tutorials from UNISA, I'm almost halfway through the content of that specific module. And I did that on a yearly basis, and every week from Monday to Friday, and I would take off maybe on Saturdays or Sundays, depending on how family time, the family time that I need to put in. So I was balancing the act of working, studying, trying to be consistent in my approach, because financially I couldn't afford to repeat a subject. And also in terms of my responsibilities, it was just increasing. So I needed to keep at the pace, and I needed to be consistent in my approach. So that's why when I actually communicated with you, when I was done with 13 units, it's because of the way it was presented and how interesting it was, but also the hunger to get this thing done and to pass it the first time.
Wow, yes, you're well done, because that's basically 3 full-time jobs, being
Yes.
a wife and a mom, and then working full-time and studying, because this is not an easy degree.
It's not.
And so when you went through our stuff, did it feel like it covered most of what you needed for UNISA, or did you have to spend a lot of time in the TAT letters as well, or the textbooks?
Okay, when I studied, the course was well outlined, and it actually went above and beyond what UNISA was offering. So I didn't even need to go through my textbooks or my my TAT letters. I only went through the TAT letters to do the assignment. But I was basically so hooked on the way and the content that was provided to me in the online courses. I basically only focused on that, and I was constantly working through it. So textbooks and all those other things that they prescribed, I didn't really buy it. I just bought the Tabaldi online course, and I was working through that course consistently and diligently. And I emailed the lecturers when I didn't understand. I always did all the quizzes, even if I was failing here and there, but I was determined to actually just do my best and to pass all my subjects on first attempt.
That's great to hear, because we often, and that's why I'm asking you, because you're helping us now. I mean, we didn't prepare this before, and the feedback is so valuable, because often students ask, should they buy the textbook? And I usually tell them, no, you don't need it, because you already have so much work to go through. And we really try to prepare the courses. There might be here and there something that's not in there, but that's not going to be the reason why you fail. So I'm happy to hear that it did actually save you from going through the whole textbook and all the notes.
Yeah.
So was there something that stood out with the courses? I don't know if you did any other courses back then. You said you did all the Tabaldi courses. I assume you don't have experience with others, but is there something that stood out if you think about the lecturer support and the length of the videos, or
thank you for asking that. In terms of my experience about the online courses, there's so many things that stood out for me. So this is actually kind of a tough question, because I cannot pinpoint one thing, but what I can say is the design of the online course, it's very user-friendly. So that in itself was very nice for me, because I could easily understand, I could easily track my progress. I could see how many units, how far I am, and it was very interactive. It's not only a lecturer explaining the work to you. There's activities, there's quizzes, and if you're stuck, you can email or send an inbox, a private message to the lecturer, and the lecturer will respond within 48 hours. There's also the content, the quality of the content provided, the quality of the question papers, and the detailed feedback that you get. So all those things stood out for me, because it was like I was enrolled, or I registered through UNISA, but it's almost like I was studying through Tabaldi. It's like Tabaldi was this university that I'm doing my degree through, and I was just, I don't know, doing the UNISA thing on the side. So most of my time went into Tabaldi's online courses. Like I said, there's so many things that stood out. I cannot really pinpoint. And the other thing that just popped to my mind now is like, I felt like I was part of the Tabaldi family, because it's almost like I was favored when I emailed, when I inbox, I would get this almost like special treatment. But that's how I felt. That's how special the lecturers made me feel, and how encouraging it was to see that someone is actually responding to you in a way that makes so much sense after getting the feedback. You know what to do, and it sticks with you for me, it stick up to ITC and even beyond ITC. There's some principles, some emails that I received that I copied. Normally what I do with my feedback, I would copy it and I would put it in a folder. And whenever I may be a bit confused, I want to just clarify something, I would go back. So throughout my journey, it was like Tabaldi was this mentor that was with me throughout the journey. So there's so many things that I can refer to.
Thank you. It's listening to you. I don't think anyone will believe when they watch this that we didn't pay you to say all of this, because it's.
But yeah,
But thank you. But and I have to mention, because we have had thousands of students go through our courses, and we have had a lot of success, and a lot of students do mention that they value the attention that they get from us, and I think especially um, at yeah, some universities you don't always get that quick reply, or
yeah,
you don't feel, and there's administration burdens and stuff. But what I want to mention is that I think, yeah, as good as Tabaldi's support is, and the lecturers and how much they care, you won't pass. That is not enough. And
yeah.
you've, like, I think it's about like 20 or 30% versus 80% or 70% hard work. And that is something that I wish I could somehow get that into the course to and that's part of why we do this, is we want to inspire other students to work as hard as you did. I mean, you mentioned getting up at 2 o'clock, and all of us, me included, I hear myself saying, I wish I had time for this, I wish I had time for that, but that's just an excuse. I mean, you are proof
Yeah.
that yeah, if you want it, you make time for it. So yeah,
Yes, yes.
that is
I
really
also just want,
awesome to
yeah, I also just want to add, like, the flexibility of the program. That is also one thing that stood out for me, because I was in hospital at the time, and I was able to actually log into Tabaldi, listen to a video, just so that I don't fall behind and do my work. It's not really me that was in the hospital, it was my child. But
yeah.
while I was sitting at the bed, I was busy going through the work when she was asleep. So that was so amazing for me, because I could be anywhere in the world and still do keep up with my online courses, and still do my assignments, and still go through the work. So that is also one thing that I really enjoyed of Tabaldi. Even when I was visiting family in another province, I would log into Tabaldi and I would do my stuff. So it was like Tabaldi was this, like I said, lifelong partner along the way that was always there.
Yes,
All the
I'm
time.
getting goosebumps if you mention that, because I also have a child, and I can't even imagine what it must feel like if she was in the hospital. I would never study. I would just, that would be more than enough excuse for me. So how did you keep yourself motivated through everything? Or if I'd visited family or somewhere, I would definitely not even log in. I'd say, I'll catch up later. So how did you?
I think I had this desire, this hunger to get to complete my degree and not waste money by failing, because the courses were so excellent. If I played my part, I was able to pass on first attempt. So when my child was at the hospital, I kept myself motivated, because I didn't want to go into feeling not depressed, but overthinking the situation about my child in hospital. So it's almost like I tried to not escape, but try to find a route to log in. And despite that, when I log in, I get so excited. I forgot about time. I forgot about everything. It's just, you are so hooked in the content, the way it's presented, and the way that you can follow through and also do the activities. So that also gave me time to make use of my time in a useful way, instead of just sitting there and maybe just looking at my child, or just thinking the worst. I was busy studying. That motivated me to keep going. And when I was with family, I would normally wake up before them. When I go to visit, I would wake up at 2 a.m. and I would study. And by 7 or 8, when everybody's awake, I am already through my content, or I spend 6 or 4 hours of the day going through my content. So it didn't really interfere with visiting family or going to events, because I normally wake up when everybody is asleep, and when they wake up, I am also with them and also doing whatever they are doing, or we're sharing, or just having nice time as a family.
Wow,
So
that's
that is
amazing,
basically.
guys. And I think you'll probably understand it as a teacher yourself, but it's stories like this that really make our jobs worth it. If you, I mean, it's not always easy, and
Yeah,
especially if you see students enroll for the course year after year, and every year they only get through 10% of the course and they fail and they don't understand why. So just listening to this really makes it all worthwhile for us. And I think you would probably
I would
understand that
totally
as
agree.
what do you teach?
I'm teaching mathematics. Currently, I'm teaching mathematics to college students, but I used to teach accounting when I started in 2016, 2017, and then 2018, I moved into the mathematics field or teaching mathematics. So yeah, I was balancing everything.
That's amazing. Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
not it's a tough job.
it's a tough job, really.
I wanted to, yeah, just the last thing that I wanted to ask you is just about the ITC course. So I know our ITC course is very different from the others, and I feel it's like it for some it's quite a lot of work. You can't just sit and listen to videos. And so, how did you find the ITC course?
Okay, before I answer that question, I just want to say I did my undergrad through UNISA, and I bought most of my my major subjects, the support from my major subjects, I bought it from Tabaldi. And then when I did my CTA, I did it through Millpark. And then when I passed on the first attempt, I came back to Tabaldi for the ITC course. I also looked at the other courses and I compared to Tabaldi, but because I was so used to Tabaldi, when I completed my undergrad, I already knew that I'm going to do my ITC through Tabaldi. And by then, I think there was an ITC course, but it was still in the development phase. I'm not sure now, but I knew I was going to do my ITC through Tabaldi. So even though if you look at the price, it's a bit more than the others, I knew I was aware of the quality service that I'm going to get, the quality content that I'm going to get, and the special treatment, the caring lecturers, as well as the design of the ITC program. So how I actually find the ITC courses, one thing that stood out for me is the fact that it helped me identify my mental blocks. I like the way that in the ITC course, they incorporate certain activities that actually help you to identify your mental blocks. Because once I identified those mental blocks, I was able to actually work on them so that when the actual exam happens, I actually know how to deal with my mental blocks. So that is the one thing that stood out for me. And the other thing was also the tools that was available or that was given to us during that course, especially the basic mark conversion ratio. Yes, where you do the question and then you mark and you look at the basic marks. You rate the answers according to what you think is basic. I think you know, but you are aware of how to do that. But I was enjoying that so much because it actually opened up my eyes to see that there are more than 50% basic marks in each and every question. And if you know how to actually apply exam technique properly, you will be able to pass just by writing down the basic stuff or focusing on the basics. So that is one thing that stood out for me, identifying the mental blocks, being able to have tools to mark your work, and also the feedback. I almost forgot. The feedback that you submit your test that you wrote and the marking that you also did, and then the lecturer would give feedback on how you did and what they would also inform you that you need to improve maybe on this. What about writing it like that, like this? So that actually helped me in looking at where my basic marks are going in terms of not getting them when I write. And I worked so hard on improving them that I didn't really even focus on content. I was just doing questions blindly because I did undergrad, I did the CTA. I was just focusing on exam technique and trying to write whatever I think I know, and then marking it to see whether I'm focusing on my basic mark.
Yes, so I wanted to ask about that. So you said you didn't do a lot of theory revision.
No, not at all. I was just focusing on doing the questions, marking my work to see that I'm sticking to my exam technique. Did I stick to the time allocation? Am I focusing on basic marks? Am I getting the basic marks? Am I converting what I know? Can I use what I know? Like Yvonne used to say, are you able to use what you know? So I was just basically doing that, checking each and every time, am I able to use what I know instead of going back to the theory and revising it? I was tempted to go to theory, but I just kept on saying to myself, you know enough, just use what you know and keep on practicing blindly. And I must say I was failing the questions dismally, but I learned through that session where you deal with your mental blocks that failure is part of the journey. You need to be hungry enough. You need to be vulnerable enough to say, okay, I'm failing. But even though I'm failing, I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm going to keep on taking the feedback and working on. So it is really a vulnerable space to be at, because I think
Yeah.
for me, it's not easy to accept that you're failing and you're already at ITC level and you're getting 20%,
Especially if you did well in
30%.
undergrad, yeah, it's very difficult to
Yes,
suddenly fail
yes.
questions. And
But I just accepted that because the activities that was incorporated in the ITC course enabled me to develop those skills to see failure as actually a way of pointing me in the right direction, a way of improving on what I'm doing wrong. So that really helped me. By the time I wrote ITC, I was so calm because I knew that I know how to approach this. I just need to go, and then I just need to play this game of the exam.
but weren't you scared? So as you fail questions and and we tell you not to revise theory, weren't you scared that we got it wrong and maybe um, you shouldn't listen to us because it's so different? Didn't you ever feel like, oh, what
Yeah.
if this is not going to work?
Because I've been with Tabaldi so long, I trusted the lecturer and I trusted the process. So yes, I sometimes got that feeling in my mind, but I knew that the lecturers and the way that it was designed, it was for our best interest. So even though that feeling came and went by about, oh, is this really going to work? But I trusted the process and I trusted the fact that so many other students went through this board course and they also just did the questions and they passed. So I strongly believed, and I could actually see the improvement. Even though I was failing better. So I could see the improvement and I could see like, wow, I got this one right that I got wrong the previous time. And even the video that you made, looking at how the students answered the question and pointing out what they're not supposed to do and rather state it like this and that. So that helped me a lot. I was willing to just get those feelings of I don't know whether I'm trusting it 100%, 95%, but I'm going to go with the 95% by doing the questions and doing the questions until I get it right. And it was
Yeah,
difficult because I was failing, but I was
could
fine
put
with
this.
accepting the feedback that I'm failing and I need to do this. I was open for feedback. I was like, I'm just going to open myself up. I'm going to be vulnerable enough. I'm going to take even my 10%, my 20%. I'm going to take it. I'm going to turn it into a 15 the exam. But for now, I just need to push through it. I need to be consistent in.
That's amazing, guys. So I wanna edit this little bit out or cut this out and put it in the ITC course so other students can watch this when they feel like that. Because I also know how it feels like we're so scared to do something that's uncomfortable, and if you know you're gonna do fail that practice question, it's so easy to say, but I'm not gonna do it and first gonna wait till I feel ready. So that's really amazing. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you so
Um,
much.
yeah, I think that's all for now. I really appreciate your time, and I really want to mention again that enrolling for our courses would not have been enough. It's the way your attitude and the hard work and that desire to pass and do well. That is really something that we can give you all the tools, but we can't do all of that for you. We can show you the journey, but we can't walk the journey for you. So I really want to, again, thank you for sharing that inspiring story, because I think that is what I feel is what the students need on top of everything that we give them is that desire and that hard work and that attitude of, just get it done.
Yeah, I agree. So I just want to thank you also for the quality program, online courses that you've created. It really helped me tremendously. I think if it wasn't for Tabaldi, I wouldn't have done so well in my undergrad. So it enabled me to get, I think, 22 or 23 distinctions, and then I passed with my degree with cum laude. So I am so thankful for that. And like you said, it is really about the desire to be consistent in your approach, to work hard, because Tabaldi is an excellent course. They provide excellent courses, but if you are not playing your part, if you are not consistent, even if you're failing, because consistency doesn't mean you will just pass all the time, you will understand immediately. I've learned so much. I've learned about the power of not yet. Yvonne, in her courses, she talks about the power of not yet. You will go through things and you won't understand it, but you must keep on going. It will eventually, all the dots will connect, but it's about the consistency that will pull you through. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes.
Because of Tabaldi, I was able to actually transition into CTA. Yes, it was very, very difficult, but the basic principles that you taught me, Francois, Yvonne, and all the other lecturers, even when I was doing activity-based costing, I remember the table and I remember focusing on the basic. I was just going for that. And I'm so thankful, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't know how I would have managed to pass CTA. So thank you so, so much. Give my thanks to Team Tabaldi. They're doing a great, great job.
I will, and they are all inspired by you. They all know your name, so I will definitely pass that on. And so you said your articles will start later this year.
It will start later this year, yes.
Wow, yes, yeah. I think they, whoever employs you are going to be very happy to get you.
Thank
as
you so
a.
much.
And yeah, and good luck with your APT and the APC. I mean, it's very short while from now you're going to be a chartered accountant, and then you're going to look back and think, wow, it was all worth it.
Yes, thank you so much for that.
And you've passed all the hurdles. I mean, if you ever feel, because APC is going to be difficult again, but I mean, the worst is definitely over. I think CTA is the worst once you're done with that. But I mean, passing ITC first time, that is another big one. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, but it's because of Tabaldi, the skills, all those things that you incorporate in the online courses. Those things built my resilience and helped me to actually look at failure, like I said, and just keep on going. So it's not only content, it's also those power skills or those soft skills that you learn throughout the journey while engaging with the content. So I really appreciate that. That also helped build my character for this journey that I embarked on. So I'm really, really thankful.
I'm gonna share this bit with the others, because we sometimes also feel demotivated if you see, oh, this person can, we know they can pass it, but they don't believe it. So yeah, I think this is gonna make everyone's day to hear what you're saying. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Francois.
Good luck. Yeah, and we'll keep in touch, and we can't wait to see that CASA behind your name. That's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Regina. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.